Hello Accounting 2 students. This is Mark here. I am just going to explain to you the Excel spreadsheet that some of you have already opened, and they will find this on Blackboard. This is Mark Swain at FMCC at the Biz Hub for the Accounting and Business Division. So if you would click on the Chapter 24 homework, and you'll notice you have 3 tabs. I'm not going to give you all the answers, but I'm going to point you in the right direction and then put it in the appropriate drop box. So here, if you'll notice, I'm in the first tab and I've accessed the Excel file that you will see in Blackboard for Accounting 2, ACC102, and this is Chapter 24. In the first tab we have Thome Company uses a flexible budget for manufacturing overhead. When they say flexible budget, they mean here, if you look at the activity level, we have 7,000 in E24. These are the direct labor hours, then 8,000, 9,000, and 10,000, and they're producing the budget at each one of these levels. They have a variable manufacturing overhead at $1 for indirect labor, 60 cents for indirect materials, and 40 cents for utilities. So if you'll notice down here in the model, it has 40, 60, $1, and we're going to go ahead and populate these cells. Now yours are blank except for you have the 7, 8, 9, and 10, and we're going to go ahead and answer the question, prepare the monthly manufacturing overhead flexible budget, flexing at each one of these direct labor hours 7,000, 8, 9, and 10 respectively, or in 1,000 direct labor hour increments. So the first one here is if I'm in cell E26, and while you're watching this video, you could have your Excel open up next to it. And I've put in here E24, which is a direct labor hours, times D5. Now what is D5? It is my indirect labor at $1 an hour. So 7,000 times 1, give me $7,000. Indirect materials would be 7,000 times 60 cents. Utilities would be 7,000 times 40, and in here I've left you the totals so you'll know you got it right if you go ahead and calculate. Over here, for example, in the 10,000 level, if we flex the 10,000 at 60 cents per unit, so I'm in K27, 10,000 times the 60 cents gives me 6,000. My fixed costs don't change, so they stay the same. And then I'm going to add my total cost, which is my total variable costs, which I'm going to highlight in yellow, plus my total fixed costs, I might in yellow. So 14 plus 6 gives me 20. And you can go ahead and do that for all these. So that's the first tab. I'm not going to show you the third tab. I think you'll be able to do that on your own. The second tab, I want to show you this data here for Thome Company. We got some information on variable and fixed costs, and it says prepare flexible budget performance reports. And here we're going to compare budgeted at direct labor hours with the actual costs of 9,000 direct labor hours. Find the variance between the two, and then I want you to use the if statement to calculate is it unfavorable or favorable. So let me just show you this row here. So I'm in direct labor, and this formula is E35, which is my 9,000 direct labor hours, times C5, which we know from before, is $1. I come over here and I look at my actual costs. Well, my actual costs are here. So these are the costs that actually happened. So just make sure that when you look, that you use these fixed costs, compare them to actual, and put them in the model below. Then we find the variance between budgeted costs versus actual gives me $200. So this cell in I38 equals E38 minus G38, which I can highlight in yellow so you can see it easier, which will give me $200. Now you could go ahead in the model and type an F for favorable, but we want to make it dynamic. So here is the formula. So if you type in equals, as soon as you type in equals in here, so I'm going to be in sorry, J38, and you type in equals E38, and you have to put in equals if, because we're going to make an if statement. If one variable is going to be unfavorable, if the other, then it's going to be favorable, and you can switch this around if you'd like. But if, open parentheses, E38, which E38 is my budget at direct labor hours, is less than G38, then it's unfavorable. Otherwise, favorable is true. And you can change these variables in different if statements, but for this one, we're going to do favorable and unfavorable. And this will come true in other variables as we go forward. But I want to make this video because this comes up on your final test. And if you get it right now, during this week of your assessment, I can evaluate it at the end of this week, give you feedback, and then we'll be ready for the final test at the end of the marking period. That's all I wanted to say. I wish you good luck. You're going to go ahead and do it on your own, and good luck.